What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Beyond the 90. We've got a very, very special video for you today. Something that I didn't expect to make at the beginning of today. Something has come out, as you've probably seen all over Twitter. It's divided the fan base once again. Is it a vote of confidence of Brendan Rodgers? We'll have a look into that. I'm trying to keep it as objective as possible, giving you the stats, giving you the statistics, giving you the situation, and then at the end, I'll give you my thoughts. Let me know what you think of this kind of video. Again, this was one that was completely on the fly because this just came out of absolutely nowhere. But we'll get straight into it right now. So what am I on about? What Neel, what are you talking about? Well, this is what I'm talking about. Brendan Rodgers, as you have to see right here, has been backed by the LCFC board. Despite a larving slump in form, Rodgers' position is not under threat, with serious injuries and recruitment seen as the major reason behind the struggle. Now, people have read into this however they want. I'm trying to give you the objective facts as much as I can. So, who is John Percy? As anybody knows that's followed Leicester City on Twitter, John Percy is probably one of the most reputable names out there in terms of Leicester City. In terms of anything that goes on in terms of Midlands football, he is the guy that we go to. Now, when he confirms something, it tends to come true. Now, this is a backing from the board. There's some very interesting things here. I want to break down in specific details because there's not been a lot of publications talking about this. So the first bit it mentions, if you look here, not under threat, which is one bit. We'll park that to the side. The second bit, with injuries. Now, we know there's been injuries. That's no secret. Leicester City have been demoralised by injuries, especially when it came to the early part of the season. We're starting to see some of them coming back now. So that's something that is different to other previous votes of confidences. The other one as well, the bit just after that, recruitment. Now, Brendan Rodgers did know coming into this season that there probably was going to be a big January window. It wasn't a lot when he first came in, when he brought in Ryan Bennett. It wasn't a lot the next season when we didn't get anybody. And then again this season. We don't do a lot of business in January. We did the video with Rob Tanner to prove that to you. Now, this may be something slightly more sinister than that. Why have they chose to do it now? Or why is it this time that they choose to put this out? I find that quite interesting. We'll look at some of the previous managers around that. So again, I'm trying to go for reputable sources for this one, and it doesn't come much more reputable than BBC Radio Leicester Sport. They tweeted out again. This was on February the 7th, 2017. In light of recent speculation, Leicester City Football Club would like to make absolutely clear the unwavering support for first-team manager Claudio Ranieri. While there is a need for appreciation from everybody at the club, the recent form it needs to improve. The unprecedented success achieved by the recent season has been based firmly on stability, togetherness, and determination to overcome the greatest of all challenges. Okay, apologies, I can't read very well. The entire club is and will remain united behind the manager, behind its players, and collectively focused on the challenges ahead. So you're looking at that going, right, this was the 5th, again, looking at the date that was put out, 5th of February 2017. Ranieri was then sacked on the 23rd of the 2nd, 2017. So, again, unwavering support, as it's saying here. Again, in collective appreciation from everybody at the club in the unprecedented success. So it's showing you already that they have backed the manager, and within a couple of 2 weeks of that being put out, he was then fired. That was about as reputable as it goes in terms of the BBC. The only other thing that I would say is I tried to find the LCFC document, but again, we're going back 2017. I just couldn't see it unless City have had a website rebuilds from then. So I don't know if it is available. However, that's the best I could get. If you type in Claudio Ranieri, vote of confidence, you will see it all appear, and you'll see the dates that we appear around that. And he was made redundant on the 23rd of the 2nd. Another one is Claude Puel. He was made, so he had the 20th of the 1st, 2019, before Brendan Rodgers came in. He was then sacked the 24th of the 2nd, 2019. So you're looking at these statistics going, okay, it's about this same time period. There are people, again, I'm trying to look at it as objectively as possible. So we'll get into some of the transfers now. So again, just to come back to the point, one of the things he mentions, the recruitment is seen as one of the major reasons behind the struggle. Brendan Rodgers has known this. However, he's still come out publicly and criticised the board. Now, he's done this in previous interviews where he said, we've not got enough money to invest. We tried to invest, we didn't get anybody in, and then he's using it. So He's tried to do what he can do with the substitutions he's had and the lack of funding. Yes, that has been an issue. However, him saying that and putting it out there has probably not sat well with the board. Just to come back to a point, previous issues with injuries have ravished the squad. They really, really have. But you look at games like the Aston Villa game where we didn't have when we had Johnny Evans and Soyuncu back. We've been playing other football with shorter teams, and we've been playing. We've had these players back. We've still had these issues. It seems like there is a mentality issue, but you look at the Wolves game and they seem to have sorted it out. They seemed like they were playing for the manager. I know I'm being less objective now, but I'm trying. So where do Leicester sit at the moment? Yes, we are in 11th place. Let's have a look at the table right now. So this is where Leicester sit in the table at the time of recording. They sit on 23 games, 7 wins, 6 draws, 10 losses. Now, you're looking at that going 27 points, 11 position. That's not too bad, all things considered. Now, we look slightly down the table and we look up to the next position, and we look at 32 points. 5 points difference to the place above us. You're going, okay, that's a little bit concerning. You then look down and you realize, okay, this is 5 points difference here. You take 5 points away, this gives you on 22. Now, if we scroll down here, Newcastle are on 22, Everton are on 22. And these guys are without a doubt in the relegation fight. So I'm not saying we're in there yet, but people will look up and down, and they're the same points difference to 16th, 17th, and to 11th. It is concerning. There was a time where we were a win or so could put you up a few spaces and down a few spaces. It looks like people above us have turned a corner, and the more this goes on, the more that gap is going to widen. Another thing to mention as well, there's not been a team that's picked up less points in the Premier League in 2022. Leicester City have only picked up 2 points in the Premier League since the beginning of the year, which is concerning. Regardless if you're Brendan in, Brendan out, it is concerning. We've picked up less than any other team. I mean, we're winless in 2022. And another thing as well, we've had less losses. We've got more losses now than Burnley. We've got more loss. We've got the same amount of losses as Newcastle on 10 apiece. So people are trying to say that that people are coming back, and I agree. But this is the bit where you're going to hear my opinion, even though you've heard it a little bit throughout the entire thing. So what do I think? This is the bit where you're going to fall out in the comments. Let me know if you agree, disagree. Look, I love to hear your thoughts. First thought, you're looking at the timing of it, and you're going, Ranieri was the 7th of the 2nd, and then he was sacked the 23rd of the 2nd. Claude Puel, the 20th of the 1st, and Rodgers is now the 21st of the 2nd. Do I think it's coincidence? It seems a bit too likely to be true, to be honest. You're looking at the way that we've heard some disgruntled things from, that's why it wasn't a fact. We've heard some disgruntled things behind the scenes. Him throwing the players under the bus and then bringing them in 2 weeks later. That doesn't make sense to me. Him criticizing the transfers and then not getting any. I think that's caused friction with the board. You're looking at, I enjoy Leicester City's board. And you know what? We said this before. Leicester City are in a good place with our board and our structure. We've got a great structure. We are going to have to sell in the summer because we didn't sell last summer, and we're going to be self-sustainable. That is no problem. But you're looking at in my opinion, Rodgers is close. Rodgers is close to going. There's a reason why they put this out. They would have just stayed silent like they have been throughout the entire season. They've come out publicly and said they've got the backing of the board. As we saw from the previous Ranieri comment, who had a lot more credit than Brendan Rodgers. And I love Brendan Rodgers. But let's not forget what Claudio did to this Premier League team. He took us to the top, to the 5,000 to 1, and they still managed to get rid of him. Now, that was a different situation. We were in the relegation zone, and it was around about this time in 2017 that he did that. That we got rid of him, and we did climb up the table from then. But the board are ruthless. The board are willing to get rid of managers, even when there's a certain sentiment about them. We praise them for being really empathetic people, but we also praise them for being brilliant people and businessmen. I'm thinking that this is the vote of confidence that we're asking for. A lot of fans aren't believing it, just like they didn't when Ranieri was fired. And I was furious when Ranieri was fired. However, I see why now in hindsight, and I think we all do. in terms of what we were trying to build and sustain. The ambitions of the board, as they've come out multiple times and said, is to challenge for Europe. Now, we haven't been doing that this season. We have been no way near it for the majority of the season, challenging for Europe. The performance has been off. They've been frustrating. There's been absolute abysmal performances as well. We have had some good ones here and there, but the ambition of the board is to challenge for the top 6. And sometimes, without getting too personal, it does feel like the ambitions of the board and the ambitions of the fans are actually in two different places. I believe the ambitions of the expectations of the fans is very different to the ambitions of the board. They're willing to get rid of a manager if he's underperforming, regardless of what momentum there is or how much memories there are against him. So, what do you think? Leave it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this kind of video, make sure you hit a like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. It's a strange one. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments down below, and I'll see you all in the next video. So goodbye.